Mhm.
Today we are going to discuss the concept of production possibility. In order to understand this concept in an effective manner, we will be beginning with the concept of scarcity. Scarcity is generally the basic economic problem, and it tells us that human beings have limited wants and unlimited wants and limited resources. And what do they have to do? They have to fulfill these unlimited wants through the deployment of these limited resources. In order to attain this, they have to prioritize their wants and forego some of these wants and attain some others. The concept of foregoing some alternatives in order to attain what you like the most is referred to as the concept of opportunity cost, which is the underlying principle of production possibility curve as well. In order to explain the concept of opportunity cost in detail, I'll be using one example. Let us suppose that a common citizen in the United States of America has got an extra $10 in his pocket today. What is this man going to do? He can either buy a book. He's got two options. He can either buy a book or go for buying a cup of coffee. Now what is he going to do? This basic simple example is also telling us that our wants are unlimited, our resources are limited. This $10, which is the financial resource for a common human being, has got two corresponding wants, either a book or a cup of coffee. What is the man going to do now? He is first going to prioritize his resources. He will be identifying that what is more important for him, a book or a cup of coffee. Now we are making another assumption here that this man who's got this extra $10 is also an avid reader. Now this makes it clear that the man would be going to purchase a book because he reads a lot and a book is more important for him than a cup of coffee. He'll be using this resource to attain this one, that is a book. In this case, this cup of coffee can be referred to as the opportunity cost for the book. Why? Because in literal terms, we define opportunity cost as the cost of next best alternative forgone. In order to purchase this book, the man was required to forego coffee, which he would have purchased if he would have got $20 in his pocket. So, this cup of coffee is the opportunity cost for the book that he has bought. And this concept of opportunity cost is the underlying principle of production possibility curve as well. This is the reason why you have to be very clear about opportunity cost so that you may be able to understand the concept of production possibility appropriately. Now, what is a production possibility curve? Production possibility curve can be defined as the graphical representation of the optimum maximum combination of outputs that can be achieved from a given number of inputs. The curve, every point at the curve represents an output that can be attained by the by an economy by using its existing resources in the most efficient possible manner. The production possibility curve slopes downward from left to right. This is the graphical representation of the production possibility curve. We are taking example of a society that is producing two products, product X and product Y. And this curve represents different combinations of product X and Y that can be attained by the society if it uses its resources efficiently. I am repeating again and again, a society or an economy can exist on the production possibility curve only if it is using its resources in the most efficient possible manner. Inefficient societies and economies do not exist on the production possibility curve. Now we are going to discuss the gradient of this curve at point A. We are talking about the gradient at a particular point because slope or has different a curve has different gradients at different points. So we are now considering the gradient of this curve at point A. I'll be using numerical formula for gradient in order to identify the gradient of this curve at point A, and then I'll be going for economical interpretation of this gradient as well. The formula that you use in order to identify gradient or slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We will be finding out the values of y2, y1, x2 and x1 from the curve that we have got in our presentation. Now let's say our y2 is 8, so the corresponding value of x at this point would be our x2. This means if I'm taking y2 as 8, I'll be taking x2 as 2. I'll be substituting these values in my formula here, and then I'll be going back to my presentation in order to identify the values of y1 and x1. Moving back to the presentation, I can see that when y is 6, the corresponding value of x is 3. I'll be moving back to my formula and put these values in the formula and solve for the gradient. So the gradient that I am getting here is minus 2. What does this indicate? How would I interpret it economically? This indicates that in order to produce 1 unit of x, I'll be required to forego 2 units of y. This is minus 2. I'll be required to forego 2 units of y. It is quite clear from the graph as well. When I'm producing 8 units of y, I am producing 2 units of x. I'll be drawing a table for you. When I'm producing 2 units of x, the corresponding production for y is 8 units. Then when I go on for producing 3 units of x, the corresponding production for y is 6 units. What does this tell us? When you go for producing 3 units of x, the corresponding production of y is 6 units. This means that when I am adding up to 1 unit in the production of x, I am required to forego 2 units from the production of y. This means that the opportunity cost for producing 1 unit of x at point A is 2 units of y, because I am required to forego a total of 2 units of y in order to enhance the production of x by 1 unit only. A question that might arise in your mind at this point is, why is the production possibility curve not a straight line? This is because the concept of production possibility curve is based on the principle of increasing marginal opportunity cost. This states that the opportunity cost increase the more you concentrate on a particular activity. This means that the more you concentrate on the production of one product, or the more you enhance the production of one product, you will be required to forego more of the production of other product as well, because this is the principle of increasing marginal opportunity cost. Additional marginal opportunity cost keeps on increasing with the increase in production. This is evident from this graph. Here you can see, when you are producing, here we are taking an example of an economy that produces coconuts and fish only. As we can see, when the economy is producing 30 coconuts, it's producing 0 units of fish. It's quite evident from the graph that when you are producing 30 units of coconut, you are producing 0 units of fish. When you move on to the production to producing 20 units of fish, the first 20 units of fish, you are producing 25 units of coconut. This means that you are required to forego 5 units of coconut. If I draw a table for this situation, I can say that when I was producing 0 unit of fish, I was producing 30 units of coconut. When I went on to produce 20 units of fish, I was required to forego 5 units of coconut, because my production of coconut came down to 25. When I moved out to further increase the production of fish by 20 units, the production of coconut was 0. This means that when I enhance the production of fish sorry, to 40, the production of coconut declined to 0. What does this tell you? This tells you that the initial increase of plus 20 in the production of fish required you to forego 5 units of coconut only. But when you concentrate more on the production of fish, you are required to forego more of the production of coconut. This means production of fish by additional 20 units, you were required to forego 25, the total 25 units of coconut. This means that the production of coconut fell by 25 units. This justifies the concept of increasing marginal opportunity cost. Why? Because when you started initial production of fish, you were required to forego only 5 units of coconut. However, when you concentrated more on the production of fish, you were required to forego more units of coconut, which means a total of 25 units of coconut. This is the reason why the production possibility is a curve and not a straight line, because it is based on the concept of increasing marginal opportunity cost. If the curve would have been a straight line, instead you can see that the opportunity cost remains the same. This means that in order to produce more and more of pizza, you will be required to forego the equal amount of bear and not more. And this is contradictory to the principle of increasing marginal opportunity cost. Another important factor that underlies the concept of production possibility curve is efficiency. Efficiency here is the product of efficiency, which means that the organization should use minimum input in order to produce maximum amount of output. The organizations are required to reduce their cost of production and use the resources in an effective manner because resources are limited. So if an organization is efficient, this means that it is producing the outputs in the cheapest possible manner and is using resources in the most efficient manner. On the other hand, if the organization is not producing its output in an efficient and cheaper manner, then this means that it is using more than average inputs to produce less than average output. It is wasting its resources. The organization might have redundant processes. The wastage of resources might be very high, and this is the reason why the outputs will be very expensive. How is this concept of efficiency and inefficiency associated with production possibility curve is the question that you might be asking yourselves now. We'll be discussing it with the help of a production possibility curve itself. As you can see that at point C we are existing within the production possibility curve. You have to keep this in mind that any point inside the curve is feasible but not efficient. If an organization or an economy exists at a point inside the production possibility curve, then this indicates that it is inefficient. Why? Because by using the same number of resources, it can enhance the production of any of the products. How? We'll see it here. As you can see at point C, the organization or economy is producing 20 units of coconut and 20 units of fish. By moving on to the point B, which the organization or economy can, by using the existing resources, it can enhance the production of fish to 30 while keeping the production of coconut similar. Or if it moves on to the point A, then it can enhance the production of coconut to 25 while the production of fish would remain same. So we can say that any point inside the production possibility curve is feasible but it's inefficient, and by using its resources more efficiently, the economy can move on point A or point B where it can increase the production of any of the given products. Any, but not both. You have to keep that under consideration, that while moving on the production possibility curve, you can either increase the production of coconuts or fish, but not both of them. As you can see, by moving on to the point B, you can increase the production of fish but not coconut, and while moving on to the point A, you can increase the production of coconut but not fish. You are increasing the production of only one product. Any point on the production possibility curve is efficient and feasible. You can attain this point by using your resources in the most efficient possible manner. Any point that exists outside the production possibility curve is not feasible, as you cannot attain this point by using the existing number of resources in an efficient manner. You cannot attain this point. You should remember this, that this point cannot be attained by the existing number of resources. One question that might arise in your mind now is, can we move outside the production possibility curve? Can we do more? Can we attain the point that exists outside the production possibility curve? The answer is yes, you can, but for that you have to enhance the number of resources that you've got with yourself. You cannot do that with the existing number of resources. There are 4 ways in which you can attain any point that exists outside the production possibility curve. First one is to improve your technology. Obviously, when you improve your technology, you are able to use your resources in a more efficient manner, and this increases your output. An example of this could be the movement from human intensive industries to capital intensive industries, which led towards an increase in output to a great extent. Another way in which you can move outside the production possibility curve is more the discovery of more resources. Obviously, if you discover more resources, you'll be able to produce more. You've got more of the input, so you can enhance your output. Another one is to train and develop your workforce. If you're training and educating your workforce, you are enabling them to learn ways in which they can produce more, in which they can become efficient, in which they can enhance their productivity and ultimately contribute more to the organization and produce more. And the last way is to address the needs of the people in a more effective manner. If organizations can attain each or any of these 3 points, they can ultimately attain this one. If the organization improves its technology, it can fulfill the wants and need in a more effective manner, because it will enhance its production and the quality of production as well. If more resources are discovered, then again organization can enhance its resources and better understand and satisfy the needs and wants of the people. If it trains and educates its workforce, it is ultimately enhancing the productivity of the workforce, which would have a direct and positive influence on the productivity of the organization. So yes, it would be able to fulfill the needs and wants of the people in a more effective manner. Now, what happens when you move outside the production possibility curve? Let us say that previously an economy was existing at point A, and then it moves on to point E by attaining each or any of these 4 points. What would happen? The organization would now be able to produce 30 units of coconut and 25 units of fish. Previously, it was producing 25 units of coconut and 20 units of fish, and its accumulated production was 45. Why? 20 plus 25 is 45. By moving outside the production possibility curve, the organization was enabled to enhance the production of both of its products. This means that the production of coconut was also enhanced, and the production of fish was also enhanced. The organization has now the economy has a total production of 55 now. Previously it was having a total production of 45. Now it's like 30 plus 25, 55. So when you move on to the production possibility curve from some point inside the production possibility curve, you can enhance the production of only one unit, as we discussed it here. Either you can enhance the production of coconuts or you can enhance the production of fish. But if you move outside at any point outside the production possibility curve, you can enhance your total output. You can enhance the production of both the products. This means that the movement outside the production possibility curve represent an enhancement of the total output. This is it for today. I hope you understood everything. Thank you so much.